Do we have a second? Okay, here's the seat. Do we have another motion? Someone want to move to approve the agenda? 1837.
I move to approve the agenda.
Do we have a second? Okay. So I have no space to write the agenda on the board for today, but the way it's going to go, first we're going to start with a vote to approve contingency funding. After that, we will have our president-elect, Dr. Lynn Pasquerella, come on and speak and answer any questions you may have. And then we'll have, if there's time, a portion for student concerns and announcements. So we'll just press right along and move to our treasurer, Nikki Chambers, and she's going to present to you the budget for contingency funding, and we will hopefully vote to approve that. So.
Okay, I'm going to make this really, really quick because I know you guys want to hear Lynn speak. On this column right here, we have the amount requested, and on this amount, we have the amount actually allocated. This year, we made a lot of, we had about $9,000 to play with, so I think we came up, I saved about $2,900, and that remaining money is going to go over into special funding. Does anybody have any questions? I guess we have bigger. What do we look like?
Harley.
It don't work.
Too big. Like 150.
I don't know. Does anybody have any specific questions? What?
You want to explain the dollar?
Oh, yeah. The dollar is not real. It's a symbolic dollar, and it basically just goes to show that your org, even if, like, let's say, like, for example, ACLU applied for $300, we decided that budget specifically, we decided that there was a kind of a lack of, like, they wanted a speaker, and we wanted them to wait until they confirmed the speaker to apply for money, and so we decided to not give them any money for the time being. So the dollar is just kind of symbolic, saying that they're on the track to regular funding, so they'll have more money to deal with in the coming semesters. So, does anybody have any other specific questions? Good. Where's Jen? What? We have quorum? Yes.
So all of those.
No, doesn't seem like it.
Everyone in favor, that's the senator that has the placard. Everyone that's in favor of approving the agenda, or the budget that was up there, please raise your placard to indicate yes.
Woohoo!
All opposed? Abstentions?
Sweet.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
So, moving right along, thank you guys for making that quick and efficient.
Thank you.
I would like to now, without any more ado, introduce to you our new president-elect. I will say, before we go into her speaking, the executive board has had the privilege to share dinner with her over in the Rockies and just get to know her a little better and, kind of have conversations with her. And I will say that, I am so excited to spend the next year at Mount Holyoke with Lynn. She sounds like an amazing woman. Every time that, myself or another student brought up a concern, it sounds like she has great experience, dealing with them, and I'm really proud of, the Presidential Search Committee for picking such a qualified and amazing person to represent our school for the next, hopefully, forever. I would like to introduce to you Dr. Lynn Pasquerella.
John, I think if law school doesn't work out, you could be my agent. That's good. Thank you so much for inviting me to be here today. I don't have anything prepared. I just wanted to let you know that since Halloween, when I was appointed as the next president, I've taken the opportunity to get to know the community again. And the more I get to know, the more excited I am about coming back and coming home. So I just wanted to answer any questions that you might have of me. So fire away. Or I did teach for 19 years, so I could talk for an hour and 15 minutes on any subject.
Should I use the mic or can everyone hear me?
There's mics on the side.
There might come a side.
Plus, it's wireless. You can just take it off. Sometimes they're not.
Hi. I was wondering if you could speak a little bit about if you have major goals or visions for the college in the next, say, 5 years, and what are the sort of concrete things that you plan to either develop or promote in these coming 5 years.
Thank you. Okay, thanks. The first thing I'd like to do is to engage the community in strategic planning. And by that I mean a variety of strategic planning, academic strategic planning, facilities master planning, looking at values. I'd like to undertake a values initiative where we come together as a community and identify the values that we want to reflect that are going to carry us through these other processes. I mentioned over dinner that in my past two institutions, the University of Rhode Island and the University of Hartford, I established community conversations known as difficult dialogues. And they were conversations about all forms of difference, race, gender, ethnicity, heteronormativity, class issues, ageism, physical ability. And it brought the community together in a very significant way. And I think that we need to have ongoing conversations to make sure that the issues that are important are at the forefront of both public discussion and private debate, so that we don't forget what our values are and reflect those values on a daily basis. So I'm looking forward to identifying common objectives that we can move forward with together as a community. And I think that that will take us 3 years at least. And the strategic planning won't, but then the action steps and the implementation of that plan will take a while. Yes.
Can you tell us a little about yourself? Can you tell us a little about yourself?
Sure. Where would you like me to start? I was born in... I grew up in northeastern Connecticut in a small town called Danielson. I'm a first-generation college student. Neither of my parents had the opportunity to graduate from high school. They were both factory workers. And I've lived alone with my mother. I was raised by my mother, who worked in a cotton mill and then a light switch factory. My mother was chronically ill, so she had significant health problems. And I had the opportunity to go to the University of Connecticut on a full scholarship, but needed to be a caregiver for my mother. And so I went to a local community college and studied, I got a liberal arts associate's degree, and found a wonderful mentor there who suggested that I look at Mount Holyoke. And from the moment I stepped on this campus, I was in love, and it was the nicest place I had ever lived. I had, for a time, lived on the street with my mother, and so experienced the kind of challenges and privilege of looking at the world from a different perspective. And so I was thrilled to be a part of a community of women, and a community that I knew would be supportive no matter what challenges I faced. So got my bachelor's degree from Mount Holyoke and went off to study philosophy at Brown. And so did work in metaphysics, medical ethics, and philosophy of law, and taught that for 19 years at the University of Rhode Island, and became an administrator. And throughout my career, I was committed to providing access to excellence in higher education, women's leadership, and issues of social justice. And I talked a little bit at the kickoff about the fact that, or the rollout, the fact that I've always been committed to Ben Barber's notion of universities and colleges as civic missions, where we not only educate women to be free, but we free them to be educable. And so I've tried to live that example of a public intellectual. I do a lot of outreach. I've worked in prisons and hospitals and continue to be active in the community, and have done nonviolence training in Medellin, Colombia, in China, with the Tibetan conflict,